Date 1. I walk in, and there's Beth on the couch, bawling her eyes out, with 2 cops sitting across from her. Dad's standing in the corner, looking like he's about to murder someone. Jenny's nowhere to be seen. Everyone stops talking and looks at me when I come in. One of the cops stands up and asks if we can talk. They take me to the kitchen while the other cop stays with Beth and Dad. That's when they tell me that Beth and Jenny told them I'd been touching Jenny inappropriately. I couldn't even process what they were saying at first. Like my brain just shut down or something. I kept saying, "What? No, that never happened," over and over. But they just kept asking these horrible questions. Where did you touch her? How many times did you threaten her to keep quiet? I felt like I was going to throw up. I could hear Beth in the other room, still doing that fake crying thing, saying stuff like, "I should have known. I saw the signs." Dad wasn't saying anything, just standing there with his fists clenched. The cops asked if I wanted to make a statement. I told them Beth was lying, that she was trying to get rid of me because I saw her cheating on Dad. Big mistake. They didn't believe me. Dad completely lost it when he heard me say that, started screaming about how I was trying to ruin his marriage because I was jealous of Jenny. Called me every name you can think of, said I was sick in the head and needed help. The cops couldn't find any actual evidence obviously, since nothing ever happened. Plus, I was only 15 back then. But the damage was done. Dad threw a garbage bag at me and told me I had 10 minutes to pack my stuff and get out. Said if I ever came near Jenny again, he'd kill me himself. I tried one more time to tell him about Beth and Mark, but he literally grabbed me by my shirt and shoved me toward the stairs. I'd never seen him that angry before. Beth was standing there with this tiny smirk that only I could see. I grabbed whatever clothes I could fit in the bag in my school backpack, tried to get my Game Boy, but Dad said everything in the house was his since he paid for it. The whole time I was up there, I could hear Beth downstairs, probably making sure Dad stayed mad. When I came back down, Jenny was there. She looked confused, like she didn't understand what was happening. Beth had her arms around her like she was protecting her from me. That's what kills me the most, the look on Jenny's face. She was just a kid. Beth used her own daughter to get rid of me. Dad told me to give him my house key, said I wasn't his son anymore. Beth made this fake sad face and said, "Maybe someday you'll get the help you need." I wanted to scream that she was lying, that she was the one who needed help, but what was the point? They weren't going to believe me. They watched me leave, probably making sure I actually went. I looked back once Dad was holding Jenny, and Beth was still doing that fake crying thing. The last thing I heard was Dad telling Jenny she was safe now. I walked around for hours that night. Had like $40 in my wallet and no idea what to do. Couldn't go to any of my friends' houses because Beth had already told all their parents I was some kind of predator. She'd planned this whole thing perfectly. Found this abandoned building where some homeless guys stayed. They let me crash there that first night. That's where I lived for the next few months. Couldn't go to school anymore. Obviously couldn't get a real job because I was only 15. Did some stuff I'm not proud of, just to eat. The worst part, Beth made sure everyone in town heard her version of the story. I couldn't go anywhere without people giving me these looks. All my friends, even teachers who used to like me, wouldn't talk to me anymore. My whole life was just gone. That's why I had to leave town eventually. I ended up spending about 6 months in that abandoned building. I mentioned it was this old warehouse near the train tracks. There were like 5 to 6 other guys living there, too. Most of them were actually decent people who just had bad luck. You know, this older guy, Tom, kind of took me under his wing. He'd been living on the streets for years after his wife died and he lost his job. He taught me stuff like where to get food, which places would let you use their bathroom, how to stay warm in winter, basic survival stuff I never thought I'd need to know. I kept thinking Dad would snap out of it, realize the truth, and come get me, but he never did. He just didn't care. I tried getting jobs, but nobody would hire me. Beth had made sure everyone in our small town knew her version of what happened. Even McDonald's turned me down. I was that guy everyone whispered about at the grocery store. Parents would literally pull their kids away if they saw me coming. Started doing some sketchy stuff to get by. Nothing violent, but yeah, not proud of that time in my life. Tom kept telling me I needed to leave town, start fresh somewhere else, but I was scared. You know, I was just a kid, really. Where was I supposed to go? Then one night, these cops showed up at the warehouse. Someone had reported us for trespassing. They gave us 10 minutes to clear out. I lost most of my stuff that night. What little I had left, anyway. Tom and I walked to the next town over. Took us all night. We ended up at this truck stop diner. I was counting my money, had like $27 left when Tom tells me he's got a cousin in the city who might be able to help. Said his cousin manages some restaurants and owes him a favor. The city was like 200 miles away, but what else was I going to do? Tom gave me his cousin's address and the last $40 he had. He told me to get out while I still could. Said he was too old to start over, but I still had a chance. Never saw Tom again after that. Sometimes I wonder what happened to him. I took a Greyhound to the city. Spent my first week sleeping in the bus station. Finally found Tom's cousin, Dave. He was nothing like what I expected. Real clean-cut guy. Managed like 3 different restaurants. He gave me a job washing dishes at this fancy Italian place. The first few months were rough. Was sleeping in the restaurant storage room. Dave let me crash there after hours. Saved every penny I could. Finally got enough to rent this tiny room in a really bad part of town. But hey, it was mine. Started learning everything I could about the restaurant business. Moved up from dishes to prep cook, then line cook. The head chef noticed I was good with numbers and started teaching me about food costs, inventory, stuff like that.